All right, do the clap.
Here we go. Ready? All right.
Are we live?
We are live.
All right. Luke, how we feeling?
Feeling okay. So me and Travis, we went out with the group on Saturday night, and of the 8 of us, 6 of us got food poisoning. So we were supposed to record on Sunday,
Yeah.
but we
it's
didn't
Sunday.
because we all were on the toilet.
Not me. I actually felt pretty good. We ate a bunch of food. Like, if we started naming off all
bunch.
this food,
It's a big
sounds
bill.
bad.
Yeah.
Big bill. And then had some beers. So when I woke up on Sunday morning not feeling too hot, it wasn't anything to not be expected.
Yeah, I eat
Pretty bad.
pretty bad generally, and like since 1999 I've only thrown up one time, and that was I tried to do a gallon of milk in an hour and I hit it too hard and I threw up 4 times on Sunday morning, and like I had fought it for probably 3 hours to not throw up, like literally mentally sitting over my body. And it's like, you will not throw up. And after like 3 hours I just succumbed and I
Whoa.
threw up, and I felt amazing afterwards. I don't know why I fought it so long. So
So,
dumb.
and just to backtrack to Luke's time throwing up with the milk, essentially, we were chatting one day, and he had told me he hadn't thrown up in, 20, or not 20 years.
So
it was
1999 at the
19
time.
years.
It was probably 19 years that time.
So I'm like, oh, dude, first thing that came to my mind was the milk challenge. He's like, what's the milk challenge? I was like, you can't drink a gallon of milk in an hour without puking. He was like, yes, I can. He's like, milk's amazing. It tastes great. I'm like, that's fine. You can't drink it in an hour without puking. Lo and behold,
And I tried it 2 times
2 times.
and I just failed. And the third time, I had a lot of time and I hit it too hard. But Travis got a video. Maybe we'll post sometime. But like
Yeah.
my hands were shaking like this, and we found out from one of our nurse friends that I was probably going into shock.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I thought it was just getting cold, but apparently
No,
we
we
were
were
going into
all
shock.
we were all pretty toasty. We were sitting in a heated garage, and Luke was over there like.
It was bad. Like I could not control my phone.
But so episode 2 of the podcast, we are talking about Luke
Minimalism.
minimalism. Luke, what does that mean to you?
So minimalism is, I just think, like streamlining your whole life. So like minimalizing just everything, like your material possessions, even like what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, so you can just kind of focus on what you want. I think a lot of times when you get too many options, it just kind of slows down our processing.
Definitely.
And a good example is like if you ever ask somebody to go to dinner, it's like, where do you want to eat? It's a
Oh
10-minute
my gosh.
conversation, right?
Dude, me and Morgan, I mean, it literally puts me in a stressful state. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, well, what sounds good? And it's like suddenly you forget all the food all the good food you enjoy in life. Suddenly you're just like, whoa, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then it's a back and forth, and you guys know how that battle goes.
Yeah, but if it was just like I did a steak only diet for a little while, and it's like it was so easy because Travis was like, "Where do you want to go?" It's like doesn't matter as long as I got steak. Like I really don't
As
care.
long as they got red meat.
But because of the simplification of it, it made the conversation a little bit easier. But so with the minimalism, like one of the things is people ask me a lot like why I did the van life, why I'm doing the van life. There's a lot of different reasons actually to it, but the ones I'm gonna focus on today. So when I moved out here from Minnesota, like we were trying to build a business, and if you've ever done a business, like it's a tough go. And I got into a lot of credit card debt, so I got into like $30,000 credit card debt, which sucks. But so one of the reasons I wanted to do van life was obviously to kind of focus on that, but it was also just to pare down my life just entirely. Like if you ever just look around at all the stuff you have, like just go into your closet, open up, and like 50% of the items I bet you haven't touched in 6 months. Whether it's clothes or whether it's tennis racket, like whatever. Like if you're not using it, what is it doing?
Yeah. And I mean, me and Morgan went through that. When we had our first apartment, then our second apartment, and then from there we downsized into our house, which sounds silly because most people, upsize, or I don't know if that's the word, but upgrade, if you will, to a bigger, nicer house. So we went from our apartment that was 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. We had it was a split level, so we had like the downstairs space, which you've been there. For the guys who've never been or never seen my old apartment, so we had like the split level, and like our downstairs, we just never furnished. We had our dog cages down there, some miscellaneous plants that her mom gave us, and at one point she wanted to furnish it. And I'm like, well, we're never down here. We barely use our living room upstairs, so no, I'm not gonna furnish this.
Yeah.
And looking into when we bought our house, I told Luke it was almost, in a way, like I wasn't embarrassed, but I felt kind of embarrassed to tell people like, oh, we only have a 2-bedroom house. We only have 1 bathroom, because that sounds so small, especially when people buy their first house. You know, you are super excited to show it off, and I wasn't. I mean, like I'm proud of it, but it's weird because in the switch of like the mental state of wanting to brag, like, oh, like look how nice our house is, look how big it is, you know, this and that. So, yeah, we have a lot of excess stuff that I'm saying we, like me and her, but people in general, we have so much excess things, and I think we're always looking for the bigger, the better, this and that, and it's not always needed. So
yeah, and like, what is it actually getting you too? You like, I see all these people who keep trying to get the next big thing, like the bigger car and this, and it's like, at the end of the day, do you remember what car you might remember because you're still young, but like, I don't remember what car I was driving 5 years ago. I literally don't remember. I have no idea, you know. So it's like, what's the purpose of having that? Or even like, I don't know, if you get like a nice pair of shoes, or if you get like a nice purse or a nice dress, like all these things are awesome for a very limited time, 2 months, 3 months. And in 3 years, you aren't going to remember anything about them. Wow. But you're spending your paycheck, or you're using a credit card where you're paying off this thing for the next 6 months. And it's like, what exactly is it getting you in the long haul?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is we kind of talked about this the other day, but, you know, you get tricked into all this stuff, like the Black Friday shopping, and this and that, which I get, you know, if you're going out to get, you know, gifts for Christmas and stuff, you're trying to get deals. But so many people just, I mean, great example is tax season, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Tax season, right?
Yep.
So people are about to get these giant income tax checks, and they're not going to know what to do with it, you know, because it's very rare for most of society to get lump sums of money like this. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to get my taxes. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to get that. It's like, why don't we just hold off for a second? You've been surviving this long without those things. Like, why don't we put that aside?
Or pay off some current debt.
Right. Something. But I was at jiu-jitsu last night, and the girl there was like, yeah, like I already got my check and I spent it already. I'm like, I haven't even done my taxes.
It's like, I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
But yeah, I think, you know, like we were talking about like Kohl's Cash, right? So Kohl's is super smart the way that they market. You know, Kohl's, everything in there is always on sale.
Yeah.
Every single thing in Kohl's is on sale, always, right? And you always go in, so it's automatically the mindset, ooh, something's on sale.
Yeah.
That's right.
Getting a deal now, right?
And then, you know, Kohl's Cash, which is good. You know, you spend money, you get cash back. Obviously, you're going to spend at the store. And again, they're going to give you $10 Kohl's Cash, but you're not going to go in there and spend $10, right? You're going to go in there and spend at least $50, $60, if not a lot more. But, and then the one thing that Kohl's does really well is they send you the little pamphlet coupon in the mail, and it's like a scratch off ticket. It's like scratch to reveal how much money you're about to save. It's like 10, 20, or 30. It's exciting, you know. You get it's like if you hit that 30%, you're like, well, I'm going right to Kohl's.
when am I getting my tax rebate? Let's go.
It's like, so it's funny, you know, and like the mall obviously is just a straight trap for anything. You know, you walk in there, not only are you gonna go shopping in pointless spots, but you walk by a freaking Cinnabon or the and it's like, whew, those cement pretzels.
And it's all designed. It's all designed to get as much money out of you. Like there's a process to this, and like there's advertising agencies you can read about all the, you know, the strategies and stuff. But like they know what they're doing.
Oh,
you know,
totally.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean, there's teams that study this. I mean, that's why they tell you to shop on the outside of the grocery store. You go in the aisles, it's like purple bag of chips.
And then you
what is that?
all the different cereals, and walk out there with 10 boxes. So the other thing with like the van life is paring things down is, I remember like with sentimental items, I understand sentimental items. Like I understand it, but when I moved out of my, this is a long time ago, back when I was fighting. This was in 2006 or 8 maybe, but I moved out of my one apartment, and I had all my old kickboxing gear, right? So like all my trophies and belts and all that kind of stuff. And when I was moving out, my mom's like, what are you gonna do with all this? And it's like, I'm gonna throw it all away. And she's like, well, why would you throw it away? You know, like these memories and all this. And I remember telling her, it's like, Mom, I've been hitting the head a lot, and I can remember all the important stuff I need to remember about that. But it's like, if I still had that stuff today, and I'm not knocking sentimental things, but if I still had that stuff today, it's literally holding me in a place that I'm not at anymore, right? I'm not a fighter. I've been a fighter since 2006, right? So why would I want to be held back in that same exact spot? Why don't I keep looking at something where I was? It's almost like, you know, looking at like your glory days from high school,
totally.
and it's like, I should be a different person, you know, 16 years later or whatever, 12, 14 years. I haven't hit the head a lot, but 14 years later. And, but I think a lot of people hold on to these items, and they're not really doing anything except for reminding you of the past. But like, you should remember that anyways, I think, if it was important. I guess, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's very true. I mean, it's, you know, the same guy. It's at the same bar every night. Yeah, you know, almost went to States. Blew his shoulder out, you know. Dreams got, it's like, no, you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, but like, I mean, and again, I love looking back on, you know, good times and stuff, but it's like, you know, that's not you anymore, you know, and it's look into the future. And like I'd rather look back on that stuff when I'm where I want to be, or when I've reached my goals and I'm still reaching. But it's like it's fun to look back, but you don't need to sit there and hold on to those glory days. Yep, there's the old Letterman jacket.
Yep.
Back in the day, you used to rock this thing every Friday night. Blah, blah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have peaked in high school, guys.
That's 10 years ago. I think honestly, like peaking in high school can be a curse and a blessing.
I agree,
Probably
100%.
more of a curse, honestly, but that's a whole different topic. We don't need to get too far down that rabbit hole. But so something else we talked about, is, with Luke with the van life. So you've taken a lot of stuff from your apartment, got rid of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then how does that translate into like helping you with your credit card debt?
Oh, like I mean, we're obviously making fair money here. So another reason why I did the van life is that generally when people start really making decent money, so they get their first big job, or they get their job out of college, like they want to all of a sudden spend all this money on, they get new shoes or a nicer car, and they get all these things, but they don't save any money. They don't have any. They got the same amount of wealth. They just own nicer stuff. And like I want to do the exact opposite. So like when we really we're rocking in Orange Theory, Akron, I was like, I'm getting rid of everything. I got rid of everything, dropped all my bills. Like I haven't used a credit card in forever, and I'm just taking all that money and I'm either setting it aside, maxing out an IRA, but I'm also just paying off my credit card debt. But I don't have any nicer things per se, but like my amount of wealth is gathering a lot faster. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm having experiences, which is one thing that me and Travis talked about. Like if we were talking the other day about like if you had $10,000 extra, what you would do.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times people would say they'd buy X, Y, or Z, and like Travis and me were both like we'd go do something, like go travel somewhere. And like it's how important that is, because like you'll remember a trip. Like you and Morgan just went to where when you guys went to out west?
Key West.
Okay.
Oh wait, we went like
when you
west.
guys went like last 18 months ago.
Yeah,
right?
we went to so we flew to Vegas essentially. We booked a flight from Vegas. We booked a flight home from Los Angeles. 9 days apart, and we booked nothing in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Let me take that back. We booked our first night in Vegas just so when we landed, we at least had somewhere to stay. Which that ended up not working out. We booked at the Flamingo.
Okay.
And we ended up having to stay at Caesar Palace because they had no more non-smoking rooms. It was a whole fiasco. But
okay.
So the only thing we planned out did not even work. But man, I'll tell you what. Like that trip was, it's hard to even. This sounds like super first world problems and so I don't know what this sounds like, but it's hard to enjoy another vacation since we've been on that one.
Yeah,
because it was so awesome.
And you'll never forget it.
No, I mean, there's certain pieces like when you go back and look on our phone, at our pictures, but that vacation, the reason we had so much fun is because we saved up a lot of money, and we said we're not going to say no to anything that we want to do. Okay. And that took a lot of nights here back home of not going out to bars with my friends or not going and doing this. And it's like all that $60 to $100, $200 you guys are spending at the bar on Friday, Saturday night, we just put aside. So you do that for 6-8 months. Now you have a few $1,000s that you can go out with and say, look, if I want to rent that Ferrari for 2 hours and it costs $600, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually do that. Morgan did not. She was not okay with that. I was really about it, but you also had to have like all this money down and they run your credit. But anyway, it was cool. We spent a lot of money. I mean, if I'm being honest, we spent well over $5,000 when we were out west. But I don't regret that whatsoever. There's not even 1 ounce of me that regrets that. Yeah, not even a little bit. The experience was awesome. We rented a car for 9 days and. We ate so much good food, and we just stayed at hotels. Like we weren't out there balling like we were staying at the freaking presidential suites by any means. But we went to like Zion National Park. We went to Lake Powell. We went to Sequoia. We went to Grand Canyon. We were in Los Angeles. Malibu, all that type of stuff. And we traveled. And honestly, I had my favorite time when I was not in the city. Like I'm not a city person, so when being in Los Angeles and all that, just around all the people, I had way more fun when I was in. Freaking jet skiing on Lake Powell, out in the middle of nowhere. It was awesome. But again, minimizing what I'm doing at home was allowing me to go out and have that type of fun. And again, not everyone wants that. That's fine. Like what we're talking about right now doesn't mean this is the right way. To me, it just makes more sense.
And it's okay to enjoy your life. And splurge a little bit. Like I probably spend $4,000 on coffee a year. Probably it's ridiculous. I got no other bills though. But I mean. But just like focusing on like what really do you value? If you're in debt and if you're constantly living paycheck to paycheck, that's one of the things like we're doing pretty well where I'm never worried about money. I don't look at my bank account ever. Right. I could probably save more, but I don't know. I'm not worried about it. But like if you're living paycheck to paycheck or if there's things that are causing you stress and you're not actively, doing something about that, like you could probably make a couple little changes, and little changes where instead of going out to eat 3 times a week, you go to eat once a week. I mean, it's not a life-changing.
No. Yeah, and I think, and that's one thing that we could tie in is like, that's what I've always said on any aspect of life, whether it's fitness or financial, whatever, because those are the 2 biggest things that people probably complain about, I would say, right? Or they're not in shape, or they're out of shape, or they're in debt.
Yeah.
Probably 2 biggest complaints, because those are 2 things that we can control.
Yep.
And again, we can get in a whole conversation about the wages and minimum wage. No matter what, you can control whether or not you're in debt. That's the end of that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You might roll some bad dice, or you might catch a bad hand.
Yeah.
From the start of your life, like some people are obviously born into wealthier situations than others, but we all have 24 hours a day, and we all have to admit, and now looking back when I was coming up before Orange Theory and how broke I freaking was all the time. And I was living paycheck to paycheck for years, 3 to 4 years at a time. But looking back, I spent a lot of money on dumb stuff. I was a construction worker, I was a laborer. So laborers and construction workers are famous for gas station food. We keep gas stations running besides people buying gas.
Yeah. Adam, I'm talking to my brother. Adam should listen to this. My brother, he's a big construction.
Yeah, but it's like every freaking, I probably spent $20 a day, and that's 5 days a week working. That's $100 a week. So that's $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
On maybe that's if I only spend $20 a day. Like I go in there in the morning, you get a little breakfast sandwich and a chocolate milk or a coffee, whatever. $7, $8. Go back for lunch. Then if you eat dinner out, and like I was living with my uncle at the time, and it's just I wasn't a big cooker. I don't cook. I don't know if people say that much, but I wasn't a big cooker. But so anyway, kind of going off on a ramble there, but yeah, just you have to look and sit back for a second. Like, do yourself a favor, just go over February and add up every single dime you spent on food or just something that you did not need. So go to the mall, to the gas stations, to the Chick-fil-A's, the Taco Bell's, to Outback. Like every single penny you spend on food, just add that up and just see what that number is.
Yeah, if you start looking at that,
it's probably triple what you think it is.
Yeah, and you'll make changes then.
Yeah.
When I did the coffee thing, I looked at it. I didn't make any changes, but I was like, that's probably a lot more I need to spend. But I had the funds available. But there was a guy I follow. I don't remember who he was, but he was talking about before you buy anything, imagine it was triple the price. And if you're not willing to pay it then, you probably don't need it. And it was very interesting because like all of a sudden you look at him going to whatever, you go to Chick-fil-A and you're spending $8.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll spend $8, but would you spend $24? And it's like, I wouldn't spend $24, I mean? So, but it all of a sudden gets you thinking a little bit
Chick-fil-A,
differently.
I probably would, but
depends on the day. Sometimes you just need one of those lemonades.
Yeah.
But yeah, just think about like what's important in your life. Remember that experiences will last forever. Your stuff, you're gonna literally, it'll break down or you'll forget about it months down the road. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But try to live for experiences.
Yeah, and say. Like and this is why we're tying this into the Pursuit 365 is because this is not just like a fitness inspirational podcast on that. Like I hope that's what we can take from it, but like just living life to your fullest. Like that's something we're about. That's something me and Luke try to live by. As much as we can. So, I mean, minimalizing, excess stress and spending to be able to live your life to the fullest is kind of like why we wanted to do this topic. And I think it's something that we kind of both follow in a way.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying this knowing I'm wearing like Lululemon shorts right now and stuff like that. And I get that, but again, you can spend money on things you want. I like the Lululemon shorts because they're comfortable, but I don't buy 100 pairs of them. Mm-hmm. I have, 6 to 8 pairs of them, but I wear them a lot.
Usually we get a deal too.
Yeah, we do get 25% off at Lululemon. So. Shouts out. But
bam.
But again, buy things you want, but again, just be more cognitive of your spending. And if you are in a situation where money's an issue, then look back on your finances and kind of try to create a budget. Mm-hmm. But it's just small steps. Like if you spend $800 a month on food right now, which that might sound like a crazy number, I guarantee most people spend that much money on food a month just out to eat.
I'm over there.
Set a goal. All right, next month I'm gonna try to shoot for 600, and then 400. Then I'm gonna try to float at 400 a little better. You know what? Just set goals, like set small goals, and that's a very easily trackable goal because it's a number, not a feeling. It's like, all right, I literally spent $800 a month last month on food.
Yep.
I'm trying to spend 600 this month, and then you can track that.
Yeah,
and you can. One more thing to tie this up is public accountability. I mean, I'm huge on that. So go on Facebook. Yo, guys, I'm trying to really cut down on my spending on food or this or my shopping or my Amazon or whatever it is. I'm going to hold myself accountable on Facebook. Last month I spent X amount of dollars. This month I'm spending this much. If you don't see me post next month, ask me.
Yeah.
so I can show you. You know,
Maybe I'll do that for coffee. You guys will see how much I spent last month, and then
Yeah.
maybe I can pare it down a little bit.
boom. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching the second episode. Sorry it took so long to get out. Hopefully my mic sounded better this time. If it doesn't, let me know. But I'm hoping we switch some things around. There's a lot of controls over here, and we'll say this again.
We don't know what we're doing.
No idea. So each time we're just kind of tweaking it this way, tweaking it that way. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better. But guys, we'll look forward to the next episode. We're gonna have our first guest on, probably either episode 3 or 4 will be our first guest.
Yeah.
We have to just try to get a couple more things tightened up here with this, just to make sure once our guest is here, me and Luke can waste our time all we want, but I don't want to waste someone else's time.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
boom.
All right. Thanks.
All right, guys.